Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time, and that whenever and wherever you happen to be on God's green and blue earth, that you are able to follow your instincts, your intuition, and your hunches about everything in your world, everything in your life. We are trained to not follow our instincts or our hunches many times. And what happens is we end up in professions that we hate or jobs that we despise because it wasn't practical to follow our intuition that we were meant to be a painter or an actor or an artist. And many of us have had adults in our lives when we were younger saying things like, actors never make any money, you're just going to be a starving artist. And they have all these excuses as to why you will never, ever succeed. And you're left standing there with your heart bleeding in your hands, and you don't have a way of answering back to that. And so you get into a practical job, like you become a secretary or a car salesman, or you do something that has nothing to do with your heart and your dream. And in time, you learn that you're not important, and you learn that you don't have a right to follow your dreams. And on the weekends, maybe you'll go see an art gallery and you'll see paintings that were painted by somebody who did follow their dreams. Or maybe you'll go to the movies and you'll watch actors on the big screen, and you never put together the idea that, yeah, but you know, Isabella Rossellini, she followed her dream to be an actress, and there she is. You know, Vincent van Gogh never really did see much money for his paintings. That is true. A lot of people didn't, but you know what? There are plenty of artists today that actually do see money. I met one a long time ago. I can't remember his name, but he was a friend of mine, and he was making a huge name for himself in New York. In fact, he was becoming very, very wealthy, and he ended up, I told this story last year, but he ended up being a heroin addict, and he fell on the train tracks because he was so messed up on drugs one night that the subway train ran over him and cut off his legs, and he was so embarrassed that he was going to be in a wheelchair the rest of his life without legs that he moved to California and changed his name and created a new life for himself. And it was very, very sad because he stopped painting totally, you know, and sometimes our dreams can lead us to, you know, destruction and horrible things, but generally not, right? I mean, I think usually if we follow who we truly were meant to be, that's when we are happy, or the happiest, you know, except for a couple, you know, artist exceptions that I could think of. I mean, I think Hemingway was a big drinker, but, you know, there's a lot of stories one way or the other, but you don't go to an AA meeting and find that it's all filled with painters and actors. Usually you go to an AA meeting and find out that it's probably, I would venture a guess, that it's filled with people who did not follow who they wanted to be. when they were younger, and they were told not to be who they want to be, and they numbed the pain with the alcohol, right? In addiction groups, I'm sure it's the same. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Hey, if I'm wrong, write me and I'll announce it on the air. But I think I might be right on this. I might be onto something, right? I feel like if you had a dream and your dream was so huge that it scared you, and so you decided to follow a life of safety, in your older years, you might be very upset that you did not follow that intuition and that hunch and that itch to do the thing you wanted to do. If you have a dream that's not very big to begin with, but it's something that is your dream and you really, really want to do it, there's nothing wrong with that. And what's funny about that is I know a kid, he was a kid, now he's a grown adult, but when he was a teenager, he wanted to be a firefighter, and everybody supported him. But I wonder if he had wanted to be an actor, would everybody had supported him? I know his dad would have, who was my ex-boyfriend, but I know his dad would have, I know I would have. But it makes me wonder if the rest of the people in his family would have said, well, that's unrealistic, don't do that. Because do you know that there's a lot of people that are in independent films that no one's ever heard of, but they still make a living. My brother is a filmmaker. No one's ever heard of him, but he did have a 5-picture deal with Warner Brothers, and he does straight-to-video Christian westerns, which, unless that's what you really are into, you're never going to hear of him. Ransom is my brother's name. Because, my mother gives me away for adoption and names my brother Ransom because he stole her heart. How adorable, right? And I remained as baby girl Hester until she met me as an adult, and she discovered the name that my real parents had given me. Baby girl, that was my official first name. All those hip hop songs, yeah, they're talking about me. I'm just kidding. They're not. No one knows me. But my brother's doing it. He's making a living actually being an independent filmmaker that no one's ever heard of. That's what he wanted to do. And nobody was there to tell him he can't do it. He just did it. He wanted to be a rap star. He wanted to learn how to rap. And when he started off, he wasn't very good, but he ended up going all over New Mexico, rapping in bars at, rap contests he started, but he ended up winning every time because he just worked and worked and worked and worked and worked at it. And nobody ever told him he couldn't do it. And he's made money as, not a rap star, I would say, but as a rapper, he's made money, So if you follow your instincts and your hunches and your intuition as to what you should be doing and what is in your heart, and you just think, hey, this one dream I've got an intuition about it. I got a hunch that it's going to lead me to something really wonderful. And I feel like I should follow that hunch. I think you should do it. And don't tell your dreams to negative nellies that are going to turn around and tell you that you're dumb or your dream is stupid or you're unrealistic. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to be an artist. And I acted on stage in high school and I really loved it because even though I'm very, very introverted and I hate having anyone stare at me, it freaks me out. But when I was on stage as somebody else, I wasn't me, so it didn't matter. And I loved that. But when I got to LA, I got terrified because I had nobody to support me emotionally. So I absolutely freaked out and nobody was willing to help me and I really needed help. And, even my cousin who had the means to help me and she refused because I think she didn't believe in my dream, which is not her fault. It was my fault for being scared. I got there and I choked and I was like, no, I can't. And so, but the two things I really wanted to be, I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to be a writer, actually 3 things, and I wanted to be an artist, those 3 things. So I'm a writer. I still haven't published any of my books, but I do write this show every single night for the past 530 episodes. So I am doing something. I am writing, and I actually have started writing classes that I'll let you guys know about later on for udemy.com. And when I get to publishing my books, I'm still having computer issues, but soon, I'm hoping very soon, I'm going to get back into that as well. And I know that I'm late following my dream. I kept changing my dream as I went along because I was scared. And if I had followed my hunches and intuition, I might have been okay. And I remember thinking, when I first started University of North Dakota, my very first year of university, and I thought I'm going to take art classes, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, oh my God, this is my medium of personal expression. This is where I want to be. And my dad told me I'll never make it as an artist, and I would never be good enough. And what's really funny to me is, maybe it's true and maybe it's not true, who the hell knows, but I wasn't encouraged. And somehow I attracted other people said the same thing to me. Now I now looking back, knowing about the law of attraction, I pretty much think that I was so scared that I attracted that kind of negativity towards me with my own energy of not believing in myself and knowing that no one had ever believed in me, but maybe because I never believed in myself, right? So we have to take responsibility for ourselves as well as, for who we follow, right? We have to start learning to follow our hunches. And I felt like I was probably going to be a famous artist at some point, right? Now I doubt it. But when I was younger, I was like, I really, really like art, and my favorite gift when I was growing up was crayons and markers and paper and anything that would give me that means of expression. And what's really funny to me is over the years, I've always I love practical art. And so I would get like super, super old pieces of furniture that people don't want anymore. And I felt like this furniture is so ugly and it's so unloved that they're giving it away for like $5 or $10, where it might have been in like 30 years before, it might have been for sale for $100 or $200. Some really nice furniture pieces. And I sanded them down and I lovingly painted them with wild colors and amazing patterns. And every single person I was ever in a relationship with stole my furniture because they loved my art so much. I'm like, why would you even want to keep my art if you don't want me in your life anymore, right? Why do you want that? And they're like, because it's so cool. You're just so like cool. Like your art is so, it just speaks to me and I love it so much, right? It's like, well, that's funny that you don't want me to speak to you anymore, that my art will speak to you forever. And it's kind of funny to me because I feel like on some level, maybe my art does speak to people and maybe I could still be an artist. It's never too late. It's never too late for anything. It's never too late to follow your hunches, your intuitions, and your dreams. And it's never too late to have a happy childhood, as Tom Robbins says, one of my favorite authors of all time. He's my favorite fiction author, and I barely ever read fiction, but Tom Robbins, not Tim Robbins the actor, but Tom Robbins, which I mentioned a couple weeks back, he's right about a lot of things that he says, God rest his soul. He died maybe like a decade or so ago, but he wrote, I think it was Half Asleep in Frog Pajamas, and I think that might have been his very last book. And he died not too long after that. But I don't know. I've been thinking about it today. All the things, people said, oh, this and that. And, you can't do this. You can't do that. And I've been thinking about it. I mean, like if I ever had enough money, maybe I would buy a hotel and film there's like little hotels here, like boutique hotels. And I wanted to film a sitcom. And then I started thinking, well, what if I act in it? Because then that would give me all the things I wanted to do. And then I could put my art in the background and, and I would get to write the episode. So it's like all the things I wanted to do at once. I'd get to do my art and I would get to, spread my Heyoka shaman, my Heyoka clown wisdom. And I would get to do my art. I get to, express myself. in a way that when I'm acting as somebody else. So I may still yet get to do that. And my life isn't over quite yet. I know I have at least 25 years left, maybe even 45 years, hopefully. My higher guidance did say I was going to live to be 78. If I was unhappy in my life, I'll just take off when I'm 78, go back to heaven, finally find my peeps again. Most of them, God rest their souls, they're already no longer with us here. And if I'm with my guy, I'm going to live to be like 98, so because I'll be willing to live an extra 20 years for him, just so that I could spend another 20 years loving somebody and being loved by somebody. But if I'm not, then I'm just going to leave when I'm 78. So I don't know. I mean, how much time do you guys think you have? How many years do you think you have? 1 year left or 100 years left? Something in between that, probably 30 years, 40 years, so it's not too late to learn how to tap dance or play the piano. It's not too late to pick up a paintbrush and figure it out. It's not too late to take up sculpting or woodworking, wood carving, whittling. It's not too late to follow your hunches, your intuitions about what you should do with your life and your dreams. A friend of mine told me that he was first he became a millionaire doing he first made his first $100,000. He had a used car lot, and he sold trucks and cars, and he also had a farm that he bought. And he was, so between the two things, he had he started off with like just a few head of cattle, and when he died, God rest his soul, Dale had over 1,000 head of cattle, and so he did that. And Joe Walsh was his neighbor, the famous musician over in Kansas. And then he had his used car lot, and he started doing a multi-level marketing, because he knows that sales is a really good way to make money. And he made like so much money, and his talent lied in talking to people, making people feel really good about themselves. And more often than not, he would channel messages to people from God, completely unaware that he's doing it. And he would always bring people to a greater level of understanding inside themselves, but through his sales, which was hilarious. Like, he had no idea what he was doing, what his talent was, where everything, how his part in the world was so much bigger than he imagined. But he just kept following his hunches and his intuition, and he would tell things to people. And I saw him turn around many different people, people that were down on themselves, people that just were ready to give up on life, people that didn't believe in themselves. And I watched him turn one after another. He turned people's lives around. So he was an amazing person for that. And one of his friends said that he was interested in the MLM. So he got into the multi-level marketing with Dale, and they started working on it. And one day he said, you know what, I'm going to become an artist. So I want to do. I don't want to do MLM anymore. And my friend's like, you're crazy. I mean, you're like halfway to being a millionaire. You're like maybe a year, maybe 18 months out, and you're doing so well right now. And he said, well, all I really wanted was enough money to start my own art gallery. And my friend said, you're going to lose your shirt, right? So he was a negative Nelly. The one time that I know of that he was super negative, and he just couldn't believe it. He's like, my God, you're about to be a millionaire. You're going to be financially free, everything in your world you want. And the guy's like, but I'm not feeling it. I don't feel it. That's not me. And the guy followed his hunches and his intuitions and his lifelong dream of being an artist. And he finally, through the MLM, he was able to get the money for all the art supplies. Then he got enough money to buy the land, or the art gallery. And he opened up his own art gallery with his own art. And 2 years later, he had a couple $1 million in the bank, because his art sold like so fast. People fell in love with his art because he followed his true desire in his heart. And my friend said that was the only time that his instincts were wrong. Maybe that's not true, but that's what he said. He said, my instincts were wrong about this guy. I never bothered to actually look at his art And I feel so guilty about that. And that was like one of his regrets. He had another regret that was really bad, but I think he only had like maybe 2 regrets in his life, and that was one of them. And he said, I wished I would have been more supportive and more open and more loving. And so when I told him that I want to have my own radio show and that I don't want to do MLM anymore, really with him, and that I love him very much, and maybe I'll get into it later, but I want to travel the world. I want to just be a mom. I want to write my books, and I want to have my radio show. He actually did support me in that. He said, he told me the story. He said, I really wish I would have supported my other friend. And we're still friends to this day, back before Dale died, of course. And he said, but we remained friends for a long time. And I just had always felt bad that I didn't see his dream the way he saw it. That was like the one thing I really wished I would have, I would have done. And he didn't pay attention to his inner guidance when he was listening to someone else's dream. All he could feel was his anxiety of losing a business partner, basically. And so it's important and imperative to not only follow your own dreams and intuition and your own hunches, but it's also imperative that when other people come to you and they say, this is my dream, so I want to do, I think it's a good idea to ask them about their dream and support them and say, okay, all right, sure. All right, I get it. It makes sense, and I'm going to tell you 2 things that you already know about, but maybe you never thought about it in this way. Adolf Hitler, you might have heard of that guy. Yeah, cheeky little chap that thought he was better than everybody else, that narcissistic bastard that killed 6 million people. Started the World War, all that. That guy, he had a dream of being an artist, and the local university told him that he wasn't good enough to get in. Now, if you dare, go on Google and look up his art, and you're going to see that he had talent and he was really good at what he did. Now, I feel like that's a dream that should have been motherfucking encouraged, right? Because maybe he wouldn't have gotten angry and killed all those people. Maybe he wouldn't have been, a dictator. And maybe he might have been a better artist. He brought these paintings into the university to get into the university to be an artist. And they said he wasn't good enough. And I feel like, why the hell would they discourage him when they're the ones who are supposed to be teaching people how to be better artists, right? To pull their voice out, through their art. And it was, for me, when I learned about that, it really kind of broke my heart for the young Adolf. And it also broke my heart thinking, but look at what his anger did, because he didn't have the ability to follow through on his dream. Now, I also feel like he was short-sighted. It's not like he couldn't have gone to any other country. There's only 200 plus countries on the damn planet. He could have gone to university somewhere else. I don't know why he was short-sighted, and so as Virgo, I'm being very critical of him. But hello, there's a bunch of universities. So anyway, but I think that was a dream that might have changed the whole world, right? Turning him down for that dream changed the whole damn world. Another person's dreams that were shattered and didn't change the whole world, but changed the lives of several people was Charlie Manson. Now, he was a narcissist also, and he was a jerk also, but he had a dream of being a musician, and he was a failed musician. I don't know the whole story there. I do know that my cousin, he slept with my cousin's girlfriend, and my cousin broke up with his girlfriend and then went and beat the crap out of Manson. And the day that he was arrested, he had a black eye. Yeah, it was in the shape of my cousin's fist. That's what happened. You can actually go look that up. It's hilarious. But anyway, my cousin Michael, he kind of had a little bit of a temper, right? But he was overall a very nice guy, actually. But, so anyway, But yeah, Manson, what if he had been able to follow his dream and have a band and tour the world and have groupies and whatever the hell he wanted? Like, maybe he wouldn't have started a cult that killed people. I mean, I just feel like people's dreams should always be encouraged, and I feel like your dreams should always be encouraged, and you should encourage yourself. And anyone who is a negative Nelly and they don't want to encourage you in your dreams, then maybe you don't need them in your life. I mean, just saying. Or maybe you need to limit, their part that they play, the role that they play in your life, because it just feels really, it feels like dreams should always be loved, nourished, and encouraged. And if you have an intuition that you're going to be really good at something and then you don't follow through on that, I feel like you're not being true to yourself. You're not being true to your heart, and it's something that you need to do. Like my oldest kid wanted to be a musician, and I bought her a couple different guitars, actually 3 or 4 different guitars over the years, and she went to California to follow her dream as a musician. And I don't know where she's at with that, but what's funny is she was given the opportunity to be in a band, and she just kind of blipped out and said no, and then that band went on to be to have like a tour throughout the US, and they did very well financially, even though no one's ever heard of them still, but they're getting there. And she's like, I don't know why I didn't take that opportunity. That's so dumb. I could have gone into a different band later. I could have done something different, but she wasn't ready. So that was one train. Maybe another train's going to come along, possibly. And so she stayed in the Bay Area, and one thing led to another, and she's being paid as an artist. That was her other dream, musician and artist. And when she didn't have me around anymore to say, you're really good at arguing, you should be a lawyer, she's finally decided to go to law school instead of university for quantum mechanics, which is what she was going to do. And now she changed her major, and she's starting law school, hopefully, knock on wood, this week. Hopefully this week it's starting. So anyway, I just want you to follow your intuition and your hunches about what you should be doing with your life. And what if you're 70 years old and you always want to do something you haven't done? Well, you know what, you're still alive. There's still time. What if you're 26 and you think you're already locked into a career path? You're not. You know what, there's like 3, 4, 5 careers people are having in a lifetime now. When I was a kid, everybody did the same thing, and they did the same thing for 20, 30, 40 years, and then they retired with a gold freaking watch and a pension, and that's all anyone ever did. When I was a kid, it was weird to do 2 different professions. It was, you were, there's something wrong with you. Well, you can't stick with one thing. Like, seriously, that was the kind of stuff. When my father was in insurance sales, and that's all he did for many, many years. Had his, I guess he must have had a degree or certification. I mean, you have to have something when you sell insurance, which I now looking back, it's like, I know he must have had that, because he was one of the top life insurance. He did like life, auto, home, fire insurance. He did all of it, and he did that for like a very, very long time. And then one day he was just like, you know what? I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I love the relationships that I've built up, and I love, working with people, because he was an extreme extrovert. And he decided, but I want to work outside. I want to work outside. I want to look at the sky and the trees and hear the birds singing while I'm working. And I don't want to wear a suit anymore. And so he started roofing. He had learned the skill when he was really young. My grandpa taught him everything he knew about doing hand split, cedar shake roofing. And in LA, he was a roofer. And then after a while, we moved to Minnesota, where he was able to open up his own company. And he was happy. He was like, I love working here. He had 9 months of the year he was able to work, and the rest of the year there was snow on the roofs, and he couldn't roof. He couldn't do it. But it gave him enough money, it took him a couple years to build it up, but it gave him enough money to actually, survive and live. And everything was cool, and he was happy doing it. It was hard work, but he loved it. He ended up with a really good reputation doing that because he followed his hunch. Hey, I'm going to move to the Midwest. I'm going to do this thing I really wanted to do. I'm going to do what, your grandpa taught me how to do. Because California had ruled, after a while, they ruled out hand split cedar shakes. Probably not the best for fire season. And now California's having like the worst fire season maybe ever. I just found out that the city of Oroville, just quick fire news. So basically you guys have the gist though, right? Follow your instincts, your hunches, your intuition of what you should be doing, even if it doesn't make any sense logically, or to your aunt Nellie, who's super negative. Your uncle's like, oh, well, no one ever made any money doing that. No one ever made money being an actor. Really? Tell that to Woody Harrelson. Duh. Tell that to Will Smith. Come on. Tell it to Johnny Depp. Come on. Actors do make money. And plenty of people make money going from town to town acting in a troupe. There's a lot, like I said, so follow your dreams, because you never know where they're going to lead. Follow your intuition, your instinct, and your hunches. As the story goes, according to, some articles I've read, Johnny Depp specifically, his dream was to be a musician. That's why he went to LA. And he followed his instincts and his hunches and his intuition when Nicolas Cage met him in a diner one day randomly and said, hey man, you should be an actor. That's where the money's at. And he became an actor, one of the best actors in the world. And his dream was always to be a musician. And he followed his instinct and his hunches. And guess what? Now he's a musician. Now he's playing out with Jeff Beck, baby. And now he is actually following who he was supposed to be all along. But it took a little bit extra time. And sometimes your dreams will take you down a convoluted path. And sometimes they will take you through other things until you figure it out fully. And you're going to come around to a point where you're going to go, oh my God, I finally can afford those art supplies. I finally have room to breathe. I finally can have my own gallery. And I think I'm going to be able to make it finally as an artist, right? Or whatever your dream is. So follow that. So let's get into this for a second. I wanted to bring it up. Let's send some love and light and prayers to California. The city of Oroville was evacuated fully. My friend wrote me this morning. He said that Berry Creek has burned down, which makes me very sad. I had a little diner. I'd go over to Berry Creek and eat in once in a great while. And I used to love Berry Creek, and everything is gone. And where he lives, just south of Paradise and east of Chico, California, he was evacuated. And this is my friend I told you guys about yesterday, that his house has been burned down twice, and now he's been evacuated. He said he just hooked up his little travel trailer to his truck, and he'll write me when he gets to a safe place where probably tomorrow when he can get another internet signal. But I don't know what the hell is going on. All of the Bay Area in California, it's just, the sky is bright orange and it's raining or snowing ash everywhere. I'm worried for my oldest kid. I haven't heard from her. I wrote her and asked her, she's okay, but I don't know, she's been evacuated too. I don't know what's going on up there. So I just, you guys, no matter where in the world you are, let's send some love and light to California. Let's send a lot of rain. Not a lot of rain, but enough. No lightning. By the way, lightning started this whole thing. That lightning complex that just starts all these fires lately. I mean, I was there when 1,000 fires were started by clouds with thunder and lightning and no rain. And that was years and years ago. So I don't know, just send some love and light. I didn't want to wait till Friday for the Earth Changes report to bring this up because it's pretty scary, man. I don't know. Oroville's a pretty big city. City I'm not really fond of, just to be honest with you. I have a lot of bad memories because that's where the courthouse for the county was. I had to go there every month for 18 months to get my divorce. Hate that city so much, but I don't hate the people there. I feel sad that they had to be evacuated. They've had a lot of issues. The dam almost burst. My friend worked on it day and night to make sure it wouldn't burst. It almost, that would have killed a lot of people. So there's a lot of stuff going on up there. I don't know what the deal is with California, but let's just send some love and light. And people have been writing me saying, I heard your report last night. I heard what you said about the temperature, and oh my God, it dropped 50 degrees. It dropped 50 degrees. In fact, somebody sent me a meme that said the temperature dropped from like 99 to 50. Like somebody who sees a state trooper on the highway, they drop from 99 to 50. It's just like, oh my God, like I don't know, you guys. I worry about a mini ice age. I feel like it's coming. I haven't had any, higher guidance tell me one way or the other about that. It's just my own gut instinct. And I'm just telling you guys, if you can, move south. It just feels like the farther south you move. Speaking of moving south, there was an article, I didn't read it yet, but I saw the headline that Disneyland is thinking about moving from California to Texas. I don't know why that is, but that's really weird. Are they going to just up and move all the rides? Are they going to do that? That's crazy. Are they just going to build a new park? Will Disneyland be an abandoned park? It's crazy. I don't know what's going on there, but I thought I'd bring that up. A lot of weird stuff like that going on. So I just looked down. It's 35:55. I wanted to bring up some ascension symptoms that came up 2 days ago. I was going to bring this up yesterday, but there was like so much that I was trying to get across to you guys yesterday that I couldn't quite get there. All right, let's see. I had it all queued up and now it's stopped, so I've got to go back and find it. All right, here we go. According to the Shadow Luminary. Oh, and I don't know why I didn't following her now. Okay, the Shadow Luminary. This is a really good, she has some really good posts. And plus they're beautiful. They're like purple and pink. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, she wrote that there are physical ascension symptoms that she noticed. This is what she wrote. Extreme fatigue, but with difficulty sleeping soundly through the night. Dizziness, lightheadedness, and feeling ungrounded. Nausea and acid reflux. And thirst, a desire for lots of water, whether it's drinking or bathing or swimming. Clearing out of sinuses with a runny nose. And mental ascension symptoms, she writes, old trauma behaviors are resurfacing for healing, and a desire to withdraw from social activity, more observing and less action, and very vivid dreams, increased intuition. So I wanted to bring that up and let you guys know. Because, people from all over the world are noticing these symptoms. And I know for me, I've had every single one of the ones that she said. And this is from 2 days ago. Let's see if anyone all these people are saying, I've had all the above. I have all these symptoms. Let's see what other people have written. Oh my God, so much. All the above. Dizzy, anxious. I'm feeling very tired. I have 7 of those at least. I'm experiencing many of these. I'm feeling every single one of these. I have not been myself for months. I'm feeling dizzy and drained. Sometimes I can't understand why. I'm starting to get worried about 5G. Right, how that's going to affect people. People feeling upset about a bunch of things. So I thought that was interesting and telling. So that's one of them. Now, I've mentioned Pure Intention 555 before. She always has a really good insight into what is happening on the Ascension Symptom Scale. So this is what's happened, not on the scale, I'm sorry. We don't do the scale anymore since we've gotten into 5D. If you listen to any of my old shows from last year, then we had an Ascension Symptom Scale we were doing before. But we hit 5, did I say 5G? Holy crap. I meant 5D. We've been in the 5th dimension for a while. Anyway, the energy update she put for 2 days ago. This is again pure_intentions 555. And she had this beautiful picture of a lotus flower, which I just adore. But she says, energy update, vivid dreams. See, another person saying the same thing. And I told you guys, man, I've been having some pretty intense, vivid dreams. Vertigo and dizziness feeling, but also with floating trance-like state on and off throughout the day. Now, I've been told by a couple different people that they feel kind of floaty and weird and unable to express themselves or communicate clearly. And I've had conversations with a couple people who are like, I don't know what to say. I'm not really feeling right now, but I can't explain why. Over and over again, I've heard these words, as well as said, yep, me too. Feeling floaty and trance-like and unable to fully get into what the hell's happening. And for me today, my day went by like 4 hours went by in what felt like 15 minutes. I'm having a lot of that too. I woke up at 9 in the morning. I fell back asleep, woke up at 11. Next thing I know, it's 3 in the afternoon. And what the hell did I do with my time? Like nothing. What the hell happened? So that kind of energy, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. So, upset stomach and nausea, sinus pressure, freezing and chills, and then sweating and feeling like you have a fever. Some muscle aches and pains, shoulder, arms, neck, back, and legs. Being gassy or bloated, sneezing, coughing, some pressure in the chest. Dull ache in the ribs, either side. Seems to be more on the left than the right. I think I did read this yesterday. And full body vibrations. So there was a couple other things. So I want to say those other things, but I don't know. Anyway, I think I did read that yesterday. But if you're still feeling these and more, just know that you're not alone, right? 'Cause so many times we get these and we're like, God, do we have coronavirus? Are we sick? Are we crazy? What the hell's happening? And no, it's not. It's ascension. It's the ascension symptoms. All right. So let's get into now the spaceweather.com. Looking for it. Here we go. All right. There's some new stuff going on. Now, the solar wind speed is really slowed down, I won't say a snail's pace, because it is still 282.5 kilometers per second. That's still, it's faster than any car we've got, right? But the solar wind, for the sun, this is actually kind of slow. It's actually slowed down. We have 19 days without a sunspot, but there is something that looks like there might be a little tiny sunspot starting to form on the lower left half of the sun. So hopefully, maybe if that's what the sun wants, I hope the sun can fulfill its dream of growing another sunspot, if that's what it wants to do. I myself don't like to grow sunspots, but hey, that's just a whole nother thing. Solar wind forecast. A stream of solar wind is going to be hitting the Earth's magnetic field on September 14th. So that's 5 days from now. It's going to take 5 days for it to hit us. Because the solar wind speed is so freaking slow. Usually, sometimes the solar stream will hit us immediately. When it was over 600 kilometers per second last week, we were stuck in a stream for 2 days. Now it's going to take 5 days to get here. Pretty crazy, right? So the gaseous material is flowing from a canyon-like hole in the sun's southern atmosphere, and it might spark a brief episode of Arctic auroras when it arrives. If you want to go to spaceweather.com and get aurora borealis alerts, you could get an SMS text, and they will let you know as soon as the auroras are here, in case you live in a northern hemisphere country or area where you can see aurora borealis very easily. I mean, if I lived there, I'd be like, oh my God, please let me know, because it's so exciting. One of my favorite things in the world is looking at the auroras. I remember summers in Minnesota, just for hours, just standing outside and staring, sitting on the hood of the car, with a boyfriend, or, hanging out with my little brother in the yard, just staring into the sky. It was like so beautiful. So incredible. So, retrograde Mars, guys, it's going to be eastward among the stars of Pisces. So Mars has gone retrograde. Ooh, Mars. That's a planet that makes us move forward with positive, powerful action, and now it's retrograde. So I'm not going to read the astrology of that right now, but pretty crazy. The Ulu neutron counts are very high today, 10.6% of the space age average. In the past 48 hours, it's been a 0.1% change upward. So we are being bombarded with cosmic radiation. And as far as the fireball, all NASA's all-sky cameras and the all-sky fireball network, there have been over the United States alone, and now this means there's a lot of fireballs all over the world, not just the U.S., but 27 fireballs were found by NASA's cameras today, and that is 20 sporadics, 6 September Epsilon Perseids, and 1 Northern Iota Aquarid. Now this is September 8th, so I think yesterday we reported from the day before. So as far as the HeartMath Institute, their website is still down. We're sending them love and light and rain because they are in the path of the fires, so they're not able to update their website right now. And Schumann resonance today, according to disclosurenews.it, is 65 hertz frequency. And if you want to go look at that website, it's very weird because the energy is in massive bursts and it looks like 4 pillars and almost evenly spaced. It's very strange. So there is that. Now, the other thing I want to get to before we go into tonight's show, the rest of the show, is I pulled from the vintage, it's not the Vintage Witches Oracle. You look at this here. It's the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. Like, I know it's not witches. I have 2 things named witches, and that's not one of them. All right. Anyway, the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, I pulled a card. I asked God to send an angel to pull a card for us. So while I shuffle, just keep shuffling in my hands, and a card will fly out. And the card that flew out today is a card of gratitude. That's the collective card for the day for all of us. Gratitude. I think we all could use more gratitude in our lives, right? And people that aren't being very nice to us. There's a lot of testy energy, a lot of angry and blamey attitudes have been going around. So people, especially divine masculines, have not been very nice. It's gratitude that can go a long way, but that is happening. There's a lot of negative energy going around. Remember, this is the dark versus light month, right? So let me read you what the gratitude card said, and then I might be able to get into some twin flame stuff as well, because I haven't gotten into that in a while. I mean, yesterday, obviously, but there's a few things I haven't gotten into yet for today that are new things going on with the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But okay, gratitude. the card, so this is what it says. This image portrays a winged deva. She's poised behind a pink rose. A golden crown hovers above her head. In the language of flowers, pink roses are symbolic of joy and gratitude, a virtue that belongs in the realm of sacred emotion and sovereign status. It has been clinically proven that a thankful life is generally a happier life, and it's easy to forget we often receive a great deal more than we give. The gratitude card invites you to unearth the bounty of your daily life by remembering the many reasons to be grateful. It may be a favorable time to express thanks to a deserving soul who has helped you in some way, or simply as a signal to count your blessings. The continued practice of this alchemical virtue can animate forgiveness, heal the past, and bring about a daily sense of wonderment and peace. From a cosmic perspective, to become unconditionally grateful for the adventure of life, with all its ups and downs, and regardless of outcomes, is to merge with the kingdom of God. So again, that's the card called Gratitude. I'm going to go ahead and put that later up on Instagram, and I'm Mermaid Girl 888. You could always find me though on any of the social media outlets, any of the apps, but just by looking up hashtag Soul Family or hashtag Soul Tribe, eventually you're going to come across me. It'll say my name or Mermaid Girl 888. It's one of my little nicknames there. Okay, we've got a little bit of time, so I'm going to go into, let's see if I can find it here, some twin flame stuff that I found. And I already read this one, so, oh man. Maybe I think I know how I found this. Alright, oh man. It was one of these people, maybe it was Pure Intentions 555. Yes, it was. Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, so yeah, Pure_Intentions 555. She also does Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine updates. So I'm going to read her update for the Divine Masculine in the past 10 hours. She says, you are looking over your priorities and releasing yourself from attachments. Some of the Divine Masculines could be worrying a lot about money. Don't worry, because balance is coming. You are feeling a major energy shift, and you too are reaching new states of consciousness and awareness. You are working hard on releasing anything and everything that's not in alignment with you. Things are being revealed from all sides, and this is putting a lot into perspective for you. You're really learning what you're truly capable of. Fully embrace the healing and transformational energy. It's here for you. Some of you are trying to figure out the right words to say, so follow your intuition because the words will come. Celebrate your accomplishments. The sacral and third eye and crown are now highlighted for you today. So I thought that was very interesting. And she has a Divine Feminine update, and then we're going to take a quick break before we get into the rest of the show. So let's get through this. Divine Feminine update. Higher states of consciousness and honoring yourself. You are starting to navigate your life with confidence and seeing the silver linings in what you are going through. You are seeing the connection in all things. You may be facing a crossroads, and you know that it's time to balance all areas of your life. You are breaking through the shadows. Don't let anything hold you back. Have the courage to trust yourself, and your path will become clearer. So let yourself soar. The higher states of consciousness and the self-awareness is really being stressed. Enjoy the simple moments. You are going through big upgrades when it comes to your abilities. Listen to your intuition and pay attention to your dreams. You have the power to balance your physical and spiritual self. trust, and harness your power. The crown and third eye are being highlighted for you. So there you have it. That is what's what on all the different things I had to say. Oh, one more quick weird thing. Yesterday, my son and I talked for 1 hour. We're not getting along for 2 weeks. But during that hour, my son said something that was very strange and telling. It was something he found out through his research, is that, those infrared thermometers that everybody is using to take everyone's temperature? 2 things. He said, don't let anyone ever point that at your head, because what it's been doing is it is an infrared light that is affecting your pineal gland negatively. And the second thing is it gets you used to having a gun pointed at your head. 2 horrible energies you just don't want. Don't ever let anyone point an infrared thermometer at your head. So there you have it. I'm going to take a quick break, guys, and when I come back, I'm going to channel Prime Creator. I don't know what the topic is yet, but, well, we're all going to find out together. All right, I'll be right back after this one little message. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. All right, guys, I am connected to Prime Creator, and I'm going to do a little bit of channeling tonight. I don't know what the topic necessarily is going to be, but we'll find out. I am, for the record, for those of you who are brand new to the show, I am an indirect channel, which means I use telepathy as well as intuition and the basically third eye. Anything that I feel and see in my mind's eye, as well as words that I hear, I do my very best to relay them to you. Direct channels are people who allow a spirit to take over their body fully. They don't have any recollection of what happened, and when they come back into their body, the other spirit leaves, and they don't really know what they said or whatever, and I just don't do that. Now, sometimes I will go into a deeper trance. Sometimes I'll bust out into light language. I don't know what's happening during those times necessarily, but I'm still telepathic trance channel, because I go into trance. But again, it's just, for me, it's indirect, because I'm still in control, more or less, of my body. Virgos don't like to be out of control, so I do my best to stay in charge of the body that God gave me. All right, so having said that, I'm going to get into channeling Prime Creator. So I'm going to take a couple deep breaths and we're going to get right into it. Okay. Ooh, that's helpful to get rid of a lot of anxiety. I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but I've had a lot of anxiety lately. I don't know if it's just me or ascension, but I think it's an ascension symptom. It's going through everybody. So, one more. All right, Prime Creator, please begin your transmission now. Greetings, it is I, your Prime Creator. I am coming to you and through many channels to you in many different capacities in practically every moment of your life. This is one instance in which I am channeling through Elena, and you know it's a message coming here for you specifically, as well as for everybody that is listening to this. But many times I will allow myself to be known in much more subtler ways. You might be at a babbling brook, and the brook suddenly babbles in a new way, and you hear a sound you weren't hearing. All of a sudden, it's a brand new sound, and then it goes away, just as fleetingly. And when this happens, you think, that was something different. And then you let it go. And you don't realize that it's me speaking to you, but you somehow heard the message. Sometimes it is a butterfly that will fly across your vision or land temporarily upon your knee. When these sorts of occurrences happen, you may be rest assured to find out, even now at this late date, that it was I. It was there just to remind you, I'm here, I exist, you exist in me, and I love you. I am proud of all of you, all of my creations. I love all of you every day, in every possible way, forever and forever. There are still those among you who say that I am a wrathful and vengeful and fearful God, and yet nothing could be farther from the truth. Those are the feelings that some humans decide are worthy, so they feel those feelings of being vengeful and wrathful and angry. I enjoy feeling all the feelings that are given to me via your experience. Your world is undergoing a great deal of changes, and many of you are fearful for what the outcomes might be. I want once again, for you to be rest assured that you are always in the safety of the divine hands. That's a metaphor that is in your world and in many of your cultures. being kept in the bosom of God, being kept in the hands of God. We, Divine Mother and I, are extremely excited to vicariously be living through your lives and for experiencing all that you're experiencing through your physical bodies. Many, many times we are in awe at the human spirit. Those of you who feel negative energy or fearful or frightened of the changes that are happening, the fires that many of you are experiencing. And then we see in the midst of that a glimmer of hope. We feel in the midst of that compassion and love for your fellow man, for your animals that are with you. The rescue efforts of many animals, we have noticed there's so much compassion and so much love in these moments. And we are so grateful that we get to experience this through you. We are sad when you are sad. We are happy when you are happy. And we ring true in the energy of gladness when you are glad. We are always here giving you our love and support forever. In the first half of this show, Elena was saying words about being your own support system and feeling that you should follow your intuition even if you're not being supported emotionally by other people. But we want to let you know that Divine Mother and Divine Father, your divine parents, as it were, your creators, we absolutely 100% support you in everything you wish to do. We hope that you could call upon us and ask us to send angels and energy of support, because you have an invisible support system about you that many of you are not even aware of. We send so much love and light your way every day. You have your spiritual guidance teams. You have your spiritual guides, your holy guardian angel. And you have legions of people that knew you in heaven, that knew you in past lives and know you now, but they've passed on. Your family, your friends, even neighbors that you've long forgotten that have crossed to the other side. You might have neighbors that are here in heaven, and you know that we are all here cheering you on. If you are a poet, all the poets send you love and light and positive vibrational energy. Every time you accomplish any task, all those who went before you send you love and light. We have prayer groups in heaven as much as you have prayer groups on earth. And people in huge gatherings are praying for all of the people on earth. We want to remind you that you do have what you would consider to be as brothers and sisters from around the galaxy as well as the universe that are too giving you love and support in your lives. And we wish to remind you of this so that you never feel alone, even if you are physically alone right now. You never need to feel unloved or uncherished You never have to feel unwanted or unneeded. Your role and your part, no matter how small you might think it is massive to us. Who you are today is not who you were yesterday. Who you are today is not who you were 10 years ago, and who you are tomorrow is going to be vastly different from who you are today. As long as you are learning and growing and changing and evolving in the life that you are currently living, you're always moving forward. You're always growing spiritually. As long as you continue that, even if you're alone, you are helping in the greater understanding of ourself. Our world in heaven, where you go when you pass, is vastly different from the world you're in now. And the world you're in now is just as, what is that word? You're saying something. I'm hearing smidgen, specter, smecter. This is not the right word. Smidgen? Is that the word? I think I heard pigeon. Okay. All right, sorry. Your time on earth is just a smidgen, a fraction, a minuscule point on the grand scale of time that you inhabit. You feel like 50 years or 100 years is an eternity when you're there. And yet you come to rest on the other side for 100 years easy, or 1,000 years, and it never feels like it's enough. Time passes there different than here because of all of the opposition in your life. There are oppositions from every angle. It is a pressure cooker. You have been told this before, you've known this before, many of you have said this before, but you are becoming a diamond under all the pressure, all the heat, and all the weight, the tons of what feel like granite rock pressing upon your back. The pressure, the weight of it, but you're becoming a diamond. Every one of you sparkles like jewels to us. Every one of you are sacred. There's not one person who is held in a higher esteem than another from our perspective. When you hold yourself in a lower esteem than what you should be, what you should think of yourself, if you hold yourself in a lower esteem, or you put somebody else in a lower esteem than what, okay, I'm not getting this totally. When you hold yourself in a point of lower esteem, or hold another person in the point of lower esteem, anything that falls short of the grand and greatest glory of God, you're doing yourself and you're doing them a great disservice. We understand that feelings have been running high, people have been testy, people have been short-tempered and angry. There are a lot of changes taking place on your planet, physical changes, emotional changes, energetic vibrational changes, and many other challenges that you are currently facing, more than what humanity has faced in millennia. We have every faith and every confidence in you that you're going to pull through everything with flying colors. And in fact, those flying colors are going to be more wide and varied than you ever knew before, as many of you have been discovering the joy of seeing for the first time new colors with your new fifth dimensional eyes. Some of you are even dreaming in vivid colors, and you're waking up wondering what color that was you just saw. There's no label or name to it. And then you quickly forget because your brain is only interpreting that which you are used to as far as colors are concerned. We are happy to let you know that your progress is moving along so rapidly. Your heavens have been filled, the skies around your planet have been filled with many different light ships from your brothers and sisters who are eagerly awaiting the moment when they can touch down upon your planet and say a friendly hello. They wish to be a part of your world and a part of your life. We hope that you are able to recognize them as you would long-lost family members coming back into the fold. See this as a joyous opportunity. See this as a little bit of a family reunion. Soul family. The Pleiadians and Andromedans, Arcturians, Lyrans, some of the positive Orions and the Sirians as well. They're all waiting to come and be greeted and to show themselves to you, to reveal who they are and what they have to offer to you and what your expertise has to offer them. They eagerly await the exchange, and we see that more and more on your planet, more and more people are eagerly awaiting this exchange as well. We're happy to report it's going to be soon, in less than a year. So you're showing me like, okay, this is Milena now. They're saying like 6 to 9 months is a potential. Okay, now they're talking again. We say 6 to 9 months as a potential because timelines shift and change. Everything is a lot more nebulous and less set in stone than more it is set in energy, vibration, and willingness to change on not only your part, but the parts of all of the people on the planet. Everything has a timeline, yes, but also everything has a nebulousness to it that is dependent upon the energy and the willingness to change, learn, and grow. That way, the creation, all of creation, can move forward as a collective whole for real. We know that some of you would have welcomed the extraterrestrials in your world 20 years ago. Happily, joyfully, ecstatically so. And some of you won't welcome them 25 years from now because it still is, quote unquote, freaking you out. We see all of the changes and the strides you're making spiritually. We see that many of you are taking into your field of possibilities many different gifts and hidden talents that you did not know you had. Many of you have been thinking about telekinesis. It's starting to happen. Many of you are thinking about real magic. You're hearing stories and you're seeing evidence that this is real. Many of you are working with energy, and it seems easier than ever before, because it is. You are in a less dense world right now than the one that you were born into. Many of you are indeed levitating. Sometimes you levitate for a second or two at a time, maybe only a couple inches off your chair or your bed or the floor. And you stop levitating right away, and it feels as if you just levitated for a second, but you're back. And then you doubt yourself. We don't want you to doubt yourself any longer. All right, now, guys, this is me, Elena, again. God is showing me, Jude, my near twin, and I, we were having a conversation earlier in which we were saying that we are possibly levitating. He says, I'm pretty sure I've been levitating. Sometimes. It just feels like I just know I'm levitating. And I told him, yeah, I think when I'm asleep in bed, when I listen to binaural beats, isochronic tones, I feel like I'm levitating in my sleep. I mean, I keep waking up and my covers are off me. It's like my levitating so high up that I wake up and the covers are off. I'm like, what did I do that for? It's so cold in here. So, I don't know. Do you guys feel like you're levitating? Maybe. So, all right, let's get back to God. Many of you are starting to develop your third eye and your telepathic abilities. You are hearing your divine counterparts. Some of you are pretty certain that you're definitely not a twin flame incarnate with your twin at this time, and yet you are telepathing with your twin. And this is very much possible because for many of you, your twin flame is on the other side, and she or he have been telepathing with you this whole time, but you only now are catching that mental signal. Many of you are learning to feel energy and feel your way through various vibrations and earth changes. In some of you, you're able to detect the earth changes. Many of you can smell an earthquake coming. Many of you can feel when a volcano is going to erupt. Many of you have a sixth sense for knowing when a hurricane is going to hit. Many of you are working with spirits that you never thought you'd work with before. Many of you are turning to magic when you didn't even believe in magic 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Many of you are now realizing your childhood dreams were real and okay. You're showing me like a image of like I Dream a Genie or Samantha Bewitched. That's my own personal references be showing me this. So yeah, a lot of people I guess are wanting this magical kind of lifestyle. Everybody wants that kind of, right? I mean, we just fold our arms over our chest and boink, you know, that noise, boing, you know, blink our eyes, you know, blink things into existence. And he's showing me this energy of, you know, just twitching our nose or blinking our eyes, and suddenly the thing that we think about has been created instantly. So, getting back to what he's saying, go ahead, Prime Creator. Many of you have felt like magic is real and you want it to be real, and these are your references. Blinking your eyes or scrunching up your nose. But it's going to be different for everybody. You're an individual, of course, and so your form of magic will come about in a way that is, well, unique to you. Jesus had his way of doing it. He didn't blink his eyes or wrinkle his nose, and of course he was not on a TV show. Many masters throughout your history have brought about miracles in different ways. Some just wave their hand through the air. Some will flick their wrist in just a certain way. Some will clench their fist in very tight form, and then when they open it, the thing that they wanted to bring about is created. Some spiritual masters tap their foot. Some might give a little hop. Some might step forward or to the side, nod their head, any number of gestures that you can possibly imagine. So the one that feels the right way for you might become your signature move, and when you're ready and your belief is built and you have gone up in vibration enough, magic is going to be every bit as true for you as eating and breathing and sleeping have been for you your whole life. Many of you have had health issues, and suddenly you're coming upon remedies that you never heard of before. And some of these remedies have been around maybe thousands of years, but they made their way to you suddenly out of nowhere. Now, if you have things that you wanted to heal in your life and you have not had the remedy come to you yet, be prepared in the upcoming weeks and months. Just open your mind, open your heart, open your energy to the field of possibilities, that the one thing that you always needed to fix whatever issues that you have, whether it's asthma or allergies or restless leg syndrome or, what are you saying, pustules? Do you say pustules? I think he said varicose, like warts, like on the bottom of your feet, or warts on your hands, but there's something else he's saying. I know it's not posthumous, it's not pustules, it's something. Pestilence? No. Alright, we'll come back to that word. I know it begins with a P and it's kind of in that file, but I can't quite hear it for some reason. Alright, go ahead, God. If you believe that there's a cure for everything on earth, and you believe that whatever issue that you're having in your physical body has a cure, imagine the cure coming your way. And now he's referring to my son being upset with, he's starting to go bald. That's a big, big issue. For the past couple weeks, he's been obsessed and very mad that this is happening, because he's got a beautiful head of hair and has his whole life. You take it for granted, like everyone does, right? You just assume you're always going to have your hair, and then as a boy you start to lose it. It's very traumatic. It's very sad. And he's referring me to that. He's also referring to, like, my son also thinking, well, he better take care of his teeth and make sure his teeth are white and not yellow. And he stopped drinking coffee because he's scared of being ugly, which he will never be. He's always going to be handsome, like his father, who was very bald. But there's all these fears surrounding that. And also turning 18 in 5 weeks. It's scary as hell. So he's kind of referring to that. So go ahead. He says, yeah, even the things that you are judging yourself to be shallow, surface features, there are remedies for everything. And he's showing me just an energy of putting your hands over your heart and accepting yourself and accepting all of the remedies and all of the things that would come your way. And he's saying that the reason he's showing me those two things, from my son, is that there's a remedy for everything. You have to open your heart, your mind, and your energy to the field of all possibilities of these things being cured, these things being healed in you. There's no reason why you can't. Oh, okay. And because he's also showing me, okay, like recently I found several weird things about Chinese medicine that I think are going to cure things in my body that Western medicine gave me a pill for that made other parts of my body break down. So I stopped taking the pills, and I'm still suffering the consequences of the initial disease, like angioedema, for example, and asthma. And I've been praying for cures to these things because I've been really upset. And something just came into my field of possibilities, like in the past couple weeks, and I ordered it. I'm waiting. And I started looking into it more today, and God told me that tomorrow we're going to do an episode He wants me to do an episode on Chinese medicine, just to let you guys know what's happening with, that things can be cured. And there might be reasons why we feel the energy and emotions that we do. And there might be reasons why we get physical ailments from our emotions. And some of these have been around for thousands of years, the knowledge of this. So we're going to go over that tomorrow. So, all right, God, go ahead, tell me more. He says, so the energy of all possibilities for all possible things, including remedies for what you might consider vain or shallow things, that they still mean something to you, but we would like you to, we'd like to gently ask you that you stop judging yourself for wanting what you want, and stop being so obsessed with things that you don't see what's before you. But at the same time, be open to the field of all possibilities that there is a solution and a remedy to every problem, and you need not suffer. You need not suffer. In fact, suffering is needless, because you're entering into a new phase of magic and a new phase of high vibrational energy, and this includes the ability to manifest everything very quickly in your life. You might not become a spiritual master immediately, where you're able to manifest something immediately, but you will be able to manifest a remedy, a cure, or someone in your life that knows what to bring you, the thing that you need. This includes the right person. Maybe you have a business, you need the right marketer. Maybe you have, he's showing me like a brace. Somebody out there has a brace. You have a brace on your leg, and you're looking for a remedy to that. Like you need a new shoe. There's a special kind of shoe that you don't need a brace anymore. And I'm seeing someone has a left leg issue. You have like a brace that holds you kind of upright while you're walking, and there's a shoe. I don't know. Maybe you know somebody who has this. One of you listening, he's showing me this. It's very oddly specific for one person, but I guess he is showing me that he wants everyone to let it be known to everybody that anything and everything that you need help with in your life is available, and it's coming really, really soon. All right, so God, speak through me a little bit more. The world that you have known is no longer. The world that you are growing into by raising your vibration and expanding your energy field is a marvelous, wonderful, magnificent, expanded view of what you can be, of your own personal possibilities. You are becoming your higher self. Many of you have said this on earth. And while this is not entirely true to the fullest extent of that, it is the best way that you can view where you are headed on a spiritual growth level. You are on a path that is leading you to an incredible and greater level of understanding. You're going to start drawing the books to you, the knowledge to you, people that can bring you a greater understanding. You're going to bring dream sequences and dream experiences into your realm of possibility. Many of you are going to start dreaming of childhood saints that you enjoyed the energy of. So he's showing me like the image of like a little kid holding on to a little card of a saint or of a spiritual master. You're going to be able to dream and go into higher realms and discuss deep issues with these people. Of course, we're real and are real and still exist in higher planes. And so if you ever wanted to talk to Jesus, you might find yourself in a garden talking to Jesus tomorrow night in your dreams, for example. Or any of the saints. If you're Catholic, you might have saints you always wanted to talk to. Whether it's Santa Rosa de Lima, or maybe you're wanting to talk to Our Lady of Guadalupe. Maybe you are from a Hindu background and you've always wanted to talk to Lord Shiva or Kali Ma. Maybe you're a Muslim and you've always wished to speak to Imam Ali. Or maybe you've always wanted to talk to Prophet Muhammad. Praise and blessings be upon all of them. It's possible that you will very soon be able to speak to the people that have touched your lives. And God is showing me now, many of you will go and speak with Rumi or poets that have touched your heart in a deep way and maybe started you off. Maybe musicians that have passed to the other side. You're going to be able to go meet all the people that inspired you in dreams. If you wish to do this, just ask God, hey, I'd like to dream of this person, if it's possible, if they're interested and willing. And you might start to dream of these people. Okay, so he's saying not only are we going to have more vivid dreams, more and more and more, so it's just going to get stronger and more vivid than it's been. And God is saying, we know in the past couple weeks, everybody has had very intense and vivid dreams. It's going to become more and more so until that's the norm. More of your mind is being unlocked at this time. You're having a higher vibrational experience, which is unlocking different parts of your physical brain as well as your higher mind. And many of you are going through portals in your sleep where you are sometimes learning in groups of people. You're going to school. Some of you are walking with spiritual masters or teachers. Many of you are learning in your sleep. Many of you wake up tired the next day. You don't know why. A lot of you, that is why. You are learning in your sleep. All right, now he says he wants me to speak in light language, which is cool because I haven't done this in a long time. I have no idea what language it's going to be. I never do, let alone know what it's saying. It's just an energy field, an energy exchange. God says there's going to be downloads and light codes in this one. So, all right, here we go. God, just speak through me. I don't even know where to begin. I never know what to say or what syllable to begin on. So, okay, at first I'm getting an image of the ocean, swirling white and blue, and like sand. There was a toy I had it when as a kid, was white and blue sand, and you twirl it around and different patterns come. And this is kind of the energy I'm seeing right now. Seeing turquoise and cobalt blue and white sand swirling kind of in a pattern that is going clockwise. This is how the light language is beginning. Now it's turning into like a lotus energy. Oh my God, I'm scared. It's like, I don't even know. Is this right, Hoi? Okay. Okay, God is telling me this is from the upper realms, because I'm asking him, where the hell is this light language from? What am I going to be saying? I might be cussing somebody out. I don't know. I always get nervous about this. Okay. He says from the upper realms, it's going to be 11th dimensional, 12th dimensional energy will be pouring through. All right. Hoishlusen ayen chala sinti hayachulika sinta asa ana urachaki inalara tuburia ho pointin lata ti ayachakwala tati sina alarabu inkatala alkutalati adita auncha hacha ayacha ancha hacha ayancha alacha hinchin city ingalada wa acha ayakala kwati inhi hayacha walata titi city da alakwati alla hainkanta hayakachala continta da wulinka ju unala city inta akantana ai kanchala anta city di ala juwanja ai kalata ju winiga goya pointing hayachali kan city kana ala tapu halakujolente sindela ala kadila wachinjika datinka ha hola kantinka ala chatinda la jumpoinka ha hoya chalata titila kutita aila padana anchankala inta hala katita oila chakandila to quentina la winka chinka tainka twanka. I'm not getting this word. Twintalata la takinchla wanta anda twinchalatana aicholatanta uncha Ola cantina la sinta de pointa, ancatalinta pointa la tantanta. Ayala canta macha cantata la wincha, hi chuqualitinta, ho, a how, a chow, our chocolatina sella inta la pointa la pointinka, aya chocolatinta la catetina wincha. Hu chatata punta ainchu de putinka ai chapalatinta solentinta de badunta hala chakwena tinta la la to wicha ai chuta a chakwena ai to unta to pinka la good to tell to what changed. How? Who? All right, I don't know what that means. A couple times I tried to control it and I got tripped up. Maybe you can unravel it. Let me know what the hell I just said. I opened my eyes right when it was at 44 minutes and 44 seconds. I know that is numbers of the angels. And it's 11:23 p.m. here in Ecuador when I finished that. Very special. That's a birthday of the man that got away when I was younger. Very cool person. I miss him every day, but he's married with kids, so I stay away. Anyway, I hope that meant something to you, that it helped. I felt some energy come through. I started to get very, very hot and tingly, kind of in the back of my neck. and in the back of my scalp, and my heart energy, like where I was feeling anxiety, is quite a bit cleaned out. Hopefully that did that for you as well. Anything else, Prime Creator, you wish to say? Only that we absolutely love each and every one of you. We are here 100% supporting, loving, and growing with you. We are all learning about ourselves and ourself as you move forward in your life. Look to your dreams for guidance. Ask when you fall asleep, but before you fall asleep, ask for guidance in any area of your life and allow it to come. Allow for the field of all possibilities to show up in your world with the solutions that you need to all of your problems, and allow the energies that surround you to be transformed and brought into a higher alignment with who you are. Allow for that alignment and that higher vibration when there are irritations or lower vibrational emotions. Ask that they are transformed in yourself and in others and in your environment and in your world. Ask for expansion, enlightenment, transformation, always before you sleep. Ask for these things. When you wake up in the morning, every day is a brand new day. It's a new dawn. Remember that you are spiritually growing by leaps and bounds at this time. And it is growing. What's growing? He's saying your souls are expanding, your minds are growing, and your heart chakras, your auras are expanding. Everything is growing, and you are on a consciousness expansion and energetic expansion at this time. So just know that sometimes there are growing pains. Give your love and your light to everybody and everything, regardless of the energy they're giving you. That's how you're going to transform yourself in your world. Your light must always be allowed to shine, and understand that we are supporting you 100%. Shine on, brilliant diamonds. Shine on, brilliant stars. Be the person that you've always known that you are at this time. Be aware of how you need to show up in the world and how you need to show up for yourself in this world. Know that your higher guidance is always intact. Your telepathy is real. If you are experiencing telekinesis or any sort of superhuman ability or power at this time, don't doubt it, and understand this is your gifts awakening unto you once again. And don't feel like you need to be a shrinking violet. Don't feel that you need to hide this from other people. Maybe at first you might have to, but eventually everybody on the planet will have these gifts. They will be developed in you soon, soon, soon. He's showing me that in the next 4 to 5 years, everyone's going to have these powers. That everything is going to be so expanded out, and we're going to be so high in vibration. He says it's going to be like second nature. Like we're not even going to think about it anymore. Can you imagine in 5 years? You want something from the living room and you just telekinesis it up. Float it up to yourself, and it's going to be like no big deal. That's why he was showing me Samantha Bewitched. It's going to be like that easy, but it's 4 to 5 years out still. Okay, he's saying starting in 2 to 3 years, you're not going to recognize the world compared to 10 years ago or 5 years ago. Anything else? Any other message? The world as you know it is growing and changing just like you are. Keep allowing it and keep opening your heart and your mind and your spirit to the ever-expanding field of possibilities. And everything in your world will get better and better and better and better with each passing breath, moment, day, and month. Never stop being connected with us. Ask to be connected with us so that we may help you learn and grow and expand faster, to bring about a greater understanding, a greater peace, and a greater happiness. We are your prime creators, Mother and Father God, and we love you. We love you. We love you. Forever and forever. End transmission. All right, well, there you go. There you guys have it. It was a lot more interactive. Usually he just speaks right through me and I don't stop and have to explain images that I'm being given, but sometimes I do. The light language was a surprise a little bit. Before we started today, before I started even the introduction, I said, I haven't done light language in a while. Do you want me to do light language today? And he said, yep. Basically, yes. You have to do. You should probably do light language. It'll help a lot of people. And I always feel so uncomfortable. It's like, am I just talking gibberish? I don't know. I'm not as comfortable as other people are with it. But even Grant Cameron in his interview by Jimmy Church a couple Sundays ago on Coast to Coast AM, he was even saying that it's a grand phenomenon. Like suddenly people are channeling ETs and they're now speaking in light language, and what's going on the planet is this grand expansive conscious expansiveness. And as a researcher, he takes it seriously, and I thought, wow, it's cool. I felt like a little bit more legitimized, I guess, because I just feel kind of crazy. And I've spoken in several different light languages from different beings that somehow wish to expand my consciousness. The Lyrans gave me their light language, for example, which is incredible. And they all sound a little bit different. I don't even know what the hell I'm speaking right now. It's one that I've spoken before. There's this word that I can't quite say. Hoishwing. It's almost like hoisin sauce, but it's not quite that, obviously. But I don't know. Do you guys speak light language? Write me at mermaidgirl888 on Instagram. Just direct message me if that's ever happened to you, where you just wake up speaking a crazy language and you feel like, what the hell just happened? So anyway, I just looked at 5454. Lots of number coincidences today. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you guys for your continued support and your confidence and your faith in my abilities and in my show. I wanted to say thank you to those of you who are mentioning me every day in your stories now. A lot of you have been doing that on Instagram. And thank you for mentioning me on Twitter and in your spiritual groups on Facebook. That has been helping a lot. I have been starting to see my numbers jump up, and that's really helping me, because I think I deserve to, just like you deserve to, we all deserve to be making money from our passions, and doing the show is one of my passions. So for those of you who are telling your spiritual groups about the show, thank you, because when I try to do it, I've been kicked out of the groups. Or they just erase the post, and they give me a warning, like I can't tell anyone about what I'm doing, which is kind of ridiculous because I'm not selling anything to anybody. If you listen to the one Anchor commercial, then I make a whole penny, for that 1 minute. It's like a 1 minute commercial, so I appreciate that for you, those of you who are telling your followers and your groups on other forms of social media. It's really helping me. So big thank you and a big shout out to all of you. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to tell you all that I love you so much. I'm grateful for your listenership and for everything, because I can't have a show without listeners. So we're kind of co-creating the show together. And a lot of you have given me ideas for upcoming shows. I want to thank you for that. If you have any ideas, right now the only way to get in touch with me really is to direct message me at mermaidgirl888 on Insta. That's pretty much, I don't really have my Gmail. I don't really have access to it right now. I'm still working on my computer issues. Anyway, I love you guys so, so much, and I will be back tomorrow with all unique and original programming, just like always. And that's it for right now. I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the Holy Fifth Dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.